Good morning, Britain. Time and hope is fading for the 5 men on board the missing submersible. Their oxygen supply is due to run out in just 6 hours' time, as the desperate hunt for the vessel now includes jets and ships from across the world searching an area bigger than Wales.
This is now a life or death rescue operation with the fate of those explorers, including 3 British nationals, hanging in the balance. But rescuers say they're not giving up the search just yet.
Mortgage misery for millions as interest rates are expected to rise by up to 0.5% today.
It'll be the 13th rise by the Bank of England in a row, putting pressure on more families across the country as the crisis continues.
The Miss England competition ditched the bikini round 20 years ago, saying it objectified women. Why does the current boss now want it back? We'll debate, should we bring back bikinis after 8?
You asked me for my number when I was going to the loo, and then...
Yeah, but you came over to me, which was obviously pretty groundbreaking. You know, someone as beautiful as that coming up to me and then chatting to me, I was thinking, you know, wow.
And football's most unlikely hero, Peter Crouch, on proving the bullies wrong, perfecting his signature dance move and his own shock at marrying model Abby Clancy. Be joined by Peter, live after 7 o'clock.
Good morning to you from Royal Ascot, where today is Ladies' Day, and eyes will be on the fashion as well as the horses. I'll have all the details of that and more coming up, as well as the weather on Good Morning Britain.
Thursday, 22nd of June, 2023. Live from Television Centre in London, this is Good Morning Britain with Ben Shephard and Susanna Reid.
Good morning, Britain. It's just after 6 o'clock. Morning, Ben Shephard.
Good morning, Susanna Reid.
Are you hoping the bikini round's going to come back in Miss England?
I'm certainly intrigued by the debates. I actually was involved. I did host Miss Great Britain many years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did they strut their stuff in their 2 pieces?
I think they were doing a bikini round that year.
Oh, OK.
It was a huge event. I mean, it was incredibly well supported. But not the bikinis. The event in itself. Joan Rivers was co-hosting with me.
Right.
It was so you can imagine it was a huge thing working with Joan Rivers. But I think it's since then, that was early 2000s. So since then, it's sort of obviously it's become less fashionable to have that within,
hasn't it? Just
a beauty pageant.
Yeah.
But you know, ultimately, I guess what was intrigued here is whether people feel it's empowering for women to feel confident enough to stand in a bikini and wear and show themselves
I
off?
think if we're still judging women on their beauty, the argument is, well, you know, we're already kind of objectifying them, aren't we? So let's put them in a bikini and see what their bodies look like. There is also another, and let me be a little bit more positive about it.
Let's go there.
There is, as you say, a kind of empowering, we're all much more body confident and saying, you know what, this is what I look like. You can take it or leave it.
Yes.
Is a good thing.
I'm very happy to be the size that I am, the shape that I am, and I'm very confident doing that. I think you only have to look at Instagram particularly to see people who see how confident they are with the clothes that they're wearing, the things that they're promoting, how they want to be seen as well.
Yeah, and why should we cover up? Also, have you got a favourite gas ring? This is a strange story in the mail today.
We are creatures of habit, Susanna Reid.
Yes, we are.
We like things to be just so, and there's been a survey that has been done about the things that we like. So we like sleeping on the same side of the bed. We like drinking tea out of the same cups we have every morning. We like eating the same food every day of the week. We like using the same brand of toothpaste. But some people they like using the same gas ring on the hob.
I know, when you asked this question, Editor Jen, this morning in the meeting, I realised I do have a favourite gas ring. That is so utterly bizarre.
Which is your favourite gas ring?
The one on the right.
The one on the right. Of course it's the one on the right.
I don't know what I've got against the one on the left.
That seems harsh. As someone who's left-handed, I'm taking that personally. I feel like you're discriminating in the left-hand ring.
I don't know why that is. It gets underused.
That ring is desperate to show you how good it could be.
What page of the Daily Mail was it? How high up the news agenda is this
Page
story?
19.
Right, OK.
Yeah, quite high up. Let us know what those... But it's those habits that we have, those little foibles that make... I have to sit in the same chair when we're watching football.
Oh,
Always have to sit in the same chair because I feel like there's some sort of... Well, firstly, it's the most comfortable chair. So I'll throw the kids out of the sitting in it. But also I feel like that we've won in this seat.
Yes.
So if I'm watching a match...
It worked.
It does work.
Didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Your manager doesn't want you sitting anywhere else
absolutely.
after you are the champions of Europe.
Every time I watch a game again, I've got to watch with exactly the same people in exactly the same position, wearing exactly the same clothes. It's as simple as that.
Well, let us know what your exactly the same is this morning. It's 6:05. Our main news, though, is about the time running out to rescue the submersible. Rescuers say, however, they have not given up hope of saving the 5 on board. Even though their oxygen supply is due to run out, they've got around 6 hours left.
Yeah, the frantic search has intensified overnight with more ships and aircraft joining this huge operation. Our North American correspondent Noel Phillips is in Boston for us this morning. Morning, Noel. So the authorities insisting that despite the fact, as Susanna says, the oxygen is fast running out, it is still a search and rescue operation.
That's right, and let's just talk about that specific area in the Atlantic where they're focusing their efforts. It is incredibly deep. It is the equivalent of stacking London's tallest building, the Shard, on top of each other 11 times. I think the next couple of hours are going to be breathtaking as we enter the final stage of this critical operation. And we also understand, as of right now, a French ship is also due to arrive any time. That ship has on it a deep-sea robot with arms and also cameras and has the potential to go all the way down to the ocean bed and potentially, if it sees the vessel, to free it if it is indeed stuck in the wreckage of the Titanic. The hope of finding this missing submersible and its 5 passengers alive is fast evaporating. And it gets even more dire as oxygen inside the vessel is now desperately low. From deep below the sea to the skies, the rescue operation is unprecedented. This Canadian patrol team are among many scouring the area, listening for sounds which have been heard from where the capsule was last seen.
The people listening to these tapes are trained. There are a lot of vessels in the area and they each make noise, right? So all of that has to be eliminated.
More than a dozen ships and submersibles like this, as well as a robot that can dive over 19,000 feet, are now attempting to find the 5 men who went missing on Sunday. With all odds against them and time quickly running out, at this stage, the Coast Guard are hoping they can pull off a miracle. I asked the captain coordinating the search what more help he needs in these final hours.
We asked for some additional subsurface support, and we got that through the Navy, and we're greatly appreciative of the British government and all the support they've given us.
The company that owns the boat that brought the missing sub out to sea say they're not giving up.
There's still life support available on the submersible, and we'll continue to hold out hope until the very end.
But what is now painfully clear is the search for lives in these waters may very well soon become a search for answers. Noel Phillips, Good Morning Britain, Boston.
That's our main news this morning. We're going to be speaking to the Foreign Secretary, James Cleverly, on the programme today, because, as you heard there, we clearly are playing quite a role in trying to get these guys rescued. Rear Admiral John Manga of the US Coast Guard said yesterday that they're very grateful for the British involvement. I mean, you saw that in that clip there, but this is what I found interesting. We're working very closely, he said, with leading acoustic experts, both here in the US Navy and the Canadian Navy. And he said, I've integrated a UK submariner into my command here in Boston, thanks to the support from the UK Consul General, Dr. Abbott, to make sure we have the expertise that we need to understand what the noise signature is and what it's telling us. That's interesting that the UK have got that expertise, that they're that particular expertise that obviously they were missing in some way in that.
Because they need to identify what the sounds are, whether the sounds are coming from the submersible or whether it could be shark tags, someone suggested, or it could be other ships, or it could be other sort of acoustic noise that is in the ocean as it is.
So we'll ask the Foreign Secretary the role of that UK submariner in the rescue effort. We're also going to be speaking to a deep-sea explorer, Dr. David Gallo. Now, David is a close friend of the missing sub's pilot, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, and they have rowed before about expeditions to the wreck of the Titanic.
Should it just be left as a graveyard, or
Yep.
should it be sort of allowed to sort of bring back some of those mementos?
Yep, so we're going to talk to him in a couple of minutes. First, though, here's Jonathan Swain with the rest of the day's news.
Susanna, thanks very much indeed.